Over the last 30 years, with the exception of 2 years, Minnesotans have chosen shared government. They want both sides of the table. The one exception to that was 2013 and 2014, and voters quickly dispensed with that roadside car fire and decided they wanted to go back to shared government. And so in reality, these things that are going to happen, the wants of groups on the left and groups on the right, are only going to happen through consensus.
We're the only divided legislature in the country, so we know we're not going to get everything Pat Garofalo wants, or everything Senator Isaacson wants, but we really did, it is how government is supposed to work. It was hard, and we were up all night, quite a few nights.
I tend to agree with Senator Housley that in general, I think the outcome wasn't horrible, right? I think it could have been a lot worse, and I think it could have been a lot better. I don't think that's wrong. But I do want to say that because it could have been a lot worse, a lot better, doesn't mean that it actually helped us long term.
A lot of the new House members who came in were really excited about the opportunity to change how that process works, because a lot of us talked about that when we were on the campaign trail, about wanting to have more transparency and wanting to do different things differently. Unfortunately, it didn't end up that way, but I do think that, as most of us have said, the end result, we didn't get what we wanted, which means it was pretty good.
What happened was we had an amazing Commissioner, Jan Malcolm, who Governor Walz kept on through the Dayton administration and into his administration. And she made it her priority. She really did a lot more work than I did. I just did the people part behind the scenes, and she did all the keeping all the stakeholders at the table, from the providers to the consumers. Really getting those people to come to a consensus, I figured out, really helps you get your bill passed. We only had one little item that we had to decide, but everybody else, all of the stakeholders came to an agreement. 500 hours of work, more than 500 hours.
Wow. Here's the problem, folks. If a pencil cost 10 cents 2 years ago, and I gave you 10 cents to buy that pencil, and 2 years later that pencil cost 12 cents, and I gave you 11 cents to buy the pencil, can you buy the pencil? Did I give you more money? Right? See how complicated this is?
We had to care for aging parents, and there's no way for them to do a full-time job and also do that when they require a lot of care. And when we think about the costs of facilities and nursing homes, and that is out of reach for a lot of people as well. My own family struggled with that. My parents worked to try to care for loved ones who needed extra care, and I think it's a really important piece of the conversation that we need to continue to have. Not to make this a generational thing, but millennials are part of the reason that we're not having kids is because that balance is very hard to find. And I think that in conversations about what we do moving forward, that we do need to have a serious conversation about paid family leave. We're the only industrialized nation in the world that doesn't have a paid family leave program, and I think we need to change that.
The bonding bill is unique because it requires supermajorities in both chambers. So we have House Republicans, Senate Republicans, House Democrats, Senate Democrats. It requires all four of the caucuses to be on board to pass it. And historically what has happened is the bonding bill has been a high stakes, all or nothing, take it or leave it bill that's brought up at the end of session. And that process has not worked under Republican and DFL legislators, and it's not going to work if we do it that way next time. And so what I'm proposing is the bonding bill be broken up into 5 separate sections: higher education, infrastructure, transportation, asset preservation, and then a 5th category of other. And I'm offering that because I feel pretty confident, like this year there was no bonding bill because minority parties were not involved. And I suspect that if we go the same route of having a all or nothing showcase showdown to impose the bonding bill, take it or leave it approach, I don't think you're going to end up with a bonding bill next year.
What I struggle with isn't that we shouldn't be mindful. Now I'm going to get to your second point.
Thank you.
Because I think the two are related, right? What I struggle with is that when you have that kind of rhetoric, we can't even begin on an even playing field at this point. We can't have an honest discussion of where this should be, because when the messaging starts, it gets co-opted by the right and the left, and it becomes unable for us to have an actual discussion about what needs to be done. What is the amount we should have to make sure our roads are taken care of? What is the amount we should have to make sure our children are taken care of in our schools?
If we had fewer conversations on Twitter and more conversations in person, that we would actually get a lot more done. I think there's a lot of talking points that are kind of spewed on Twitter, and a lot of things that happen that can damage relationships, but also just kind of leave people feeling very negative. Not just folks engaging in the conversations, but people who see that as well, see those conversations. If we actually had more conversations in person where we were sitting down and talking through our differences and things that we agree or don't agree on.
In order for those things to happen, There have to be people at the table who are willing to make deals. There have to be people who are willing to recognize that sometimes leadership isn't about imposing your will on the other side. It's a matter of finding those things that you are willing to tolerate that you're opposed to and allowing those to become law.